Here's something to think about when things go wrong all the time. That luck can change like that high tide. Bad things can soon turn out all right. Hi, my name is Ryan. I like to stay busy. I like to make people happy through different projects and bands and things. And I am an entertainer.
Ladies and gentlemen!
Father's Day is a thrash band. It's also a concept band. We're really bad, horrible fathers, and we hate our wives and our kids. And that's what the songs are about. It's started back when I booked a show for Andrew and Tristan Jemski's polka punk band, Haunted Cologne. Thought it was amazing. We decided that we needed to start a band with these guys because we could do something really awesome. We called Andrew and Tristan. We told them, hey, we're starting a band with you. It's called Father's Day. We all came up with our different types of dads that we thought fitted us best. Andrew was golf dad because he's obsessed with golfing, although I don't think he does it that often or at all. Tristan chose drunk dad. Not sure why, but he plays it really well. He's a great drunk dad. Emily chose classy dad, I think, just because she normally wears really nice, classy vintage clothing. Sometimes she goes all out and she'll have like a monocle or like a cane. And I chose business dad, and business dad always wears a suit. And then we all have, alternate names that we go by. Like my name is Douglas Patton. Emily's name is Sir Baldwin Pennyweather III. Drunk dad's name is Jim Jack. And Golf Dad's name is Frank Brando. Douglas Patton is also the first and middle name of my father. Yeah, he knew I was in a band called Father's Day, and I told him about it a couple times because, like, I'd tell him and then he'd forget, I guess, and ask me about it later, and I'd tell him the same thing. We're a band of dads, we play thrash music, and I yell and scream and punch people in the face. It's really great. And he'd be like, oh, that's nice. The Best Friends is an a cappella singing group of just me and my best friend Emily. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. I think the Best Friends started because we'd sing together in the car.
Yeah, pretty much. And then at a certain point in our relationship, we realized that we were best friends.
Yeah.
So, it's not like it's a lie or anything.
Yeah.
Like, at the first few shows that we played, we dressed really similar, tried to dress, as similar as possible.
Yeah.
And then one day, we decided to, actually get shirts.
Yeah.
And so me and him and Liam, we went upstairs here and embroidered some shirts.
Yeah.
And that was Ryan's first time embroidering a shirt.
It's good that we love each other, 'cause now we can eat together. Let's go stuff our faces instead of eating in our hiding places. Practicing started out being this big ordeal. We were talking about where we should practice, and then we were just like, wait, we just sing a cappella. Why do we need to be in the same room for? We can practice right here on the phone. We know this neat kid, you might know him too. He likes really cool stuff and has a sweet hairdo. You may call him Jaime, but we know him as friend. So thick and thin, good and bad, the beginning to the end. Jaime, you're awesome. Jaime, you're bad.
Mommy and Daddy,
your baby has grown.
And the smell
of the cold, wet dirt reminds me of home. That was good. Yay! Hooray! Okay.
I'm JRC.
And I'm Stephanie Carrico, and we co-own the Trunk Space, an art gallery and all-ages performance venue. The first time Ryan really had an impression on me was him and Emily came into the Trunk Space dressed to the gills, and they were adorable, dancing and just having a great time. And I told JRC, I said, those kids are gonna change Phoenix. We need to get to know those kids. They're so important.
My name is Jason Burgess, and I am the co-owner and curator of the Wanderlust Cafe and Emporium, and we travel the country selling coffee, and we do it all running on waste vegetable oil. I had seen Ryan Avery at the Willow House. I sit down and I hear the kind of buzz of an amplifier, so I look up and they're like, oh, well, there's a band called Nightwolf. And I'm thinking maybe it's some American Indian guy or Native American guy that's got this great story to tell about, life growing up on the plains or something.
Nightwolf is electronic music with live drums as well. It's one of the projects that we came up with just so we could take all of our stupid ideas for the other bands and throw it into it. Because, we don't want any ideas going to waste. And so we're like, hey, this would be fun. Maybe we could do this with this band. No, it's dumb. Let's give it to Nightwolf.
They began playing off-key, out of time. They started singing obscenities and lyrics that really didn't make any sense. It seemed as if they were deliberately trying to mock the audience for watching them.
I'm Wayne Michael Reich, local artist, local photographer, local adventurer. I work in an acrylic on wood. I work in a pop art style. I also do photography in about 9 different series of work, anything from architectural work to your traditional artistic nudes, fetish, logos, weddings, pets, puppies, that kind of thing. Generally, I hang out at a coffee shop called Willow House. And Ryan is part of a crew that hangs out there on open mic nights, poetry nights, you know, the typical poetry slams that most coffee houses host.
We used to play the Willow House on poetry night.
Yeah, they had this open poetry night. One time we played in front of these sassy black women.
Yeah.
And they loved everything that we did. It was so great. And it was the night where we came up with the happy song because all the poetry was like really, really depressing.
It was all about rain.
And we started singing about rainbows and puppies and stuff. And the women were like, yeah, you got rainbows and puppies. Oh, these sexy white boys are dancing and they're singing about us. It was great.
Rainbows and unicorns, they make me happy. And the desert rain, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So we went back like every week. People were like, oh no, it's Nightwolf. People kind of loved to hate us for a while. And then like they started to be like, dude, that's funny, but stop.
They were like, get out of the Willow House. We don't want you here.
Yeah.
And we were like, come on.
We were like,
come on.
We're Nightwolf.
We're Nightwolf. Come on. Don't you like us? And they were like, no. Seriously, get out.
I am not a fan of raw public performance. And Ryan and his cohorts, his little gang of creatives, are not necessarily on my line of favorites because they don't know their craft. They really don't.
There was one time you were caution taping the Willow House and you went outside and this guy, his name is Wayne Michael Reich, and he was like, shut up, you talentless piece of soul.
Yeah.
And you know, this scared Ryan.
It scared me because no one had ever said that to my face before.
I don't remember if it was he who said it or one of his bandmates said it. Well, anybody who takes us serious, you know, is an idiot. Well, if you're not serious about it, then why are you getting on a professional venue? Why are you getting into the arena where professionals are? If you just want to be a class clown, hey, fine, stay on the fringes. That's where you belong. But if you're gonna get into the spotlight with us, if you're not gonna hold up, I'm gonna bake you like a chicken. and I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
Well, Ryan started out as a 12-pound baby boy. We thought about calling him Goliath or something like that, but for some reason the name Ryan just seemed to stick.
The guy was a little chunky little guy. In fact, we went to karate lessons, all of us, from Ryan up through his big brothers and I. And one of the teachers there would always say, that kid's got nose guard written all over him.
Everybody in my family is pretty musical. Both my parents were into the performing arts.
I was a drama music major originally. His dad's family, they directed choirs and all sang. So he's got creativity on both sides. I also wanted to be an architect, and so we've got a lot of the like to draw artsy stuff in our heritage. His brothers and sisters performed in a group called the Crystal Kids.
We were singing parts and everything with our little candy striped vests and paint on mustaches and the hats and the cane, you know, a little dance number. We always had musical instruments in the home, and Ryan would play all the different musical instruments.
He liked to play musical instruments, and he'd put on concerts for his stuffed animals.
He'd dress up like a Ninja Turtle or whatever and entertain his stuffed animals if nobody was home, or come show us, hey, you know, check out my kicks or whatever. And he'd just kick stuff and punch stuff.
There was an awareness kind of from the beginning of Ryan's artistic leanings and stuff. I mean, when he was very, very young, he was aware of things like shadings and drawing muscles and curves and bodies and stuff like that. Gosh, just really young.
He loved to draw from the time he was little. He would draw a lot of pictures to express his emotions. And I know when we were going through the divorce, he drew a lot of pictures that they scolded him in school and says, "You can't draw that, that's too scary."
I think you're beautiful! I think you're beautiful! I think you're beautiful! I think you're beautiful!
I see no reason why Ryan will not be a master artist in his future. He has everything going for him, and his talent is apparent. This is a piece of artwork that Ryan brought on one of our Third Fridays experimental music jams. I think it's about transcending social norms. I think it's about breaking the rules. I think it's about free expression.
Iggy Pop, someone from Fender called the trunk space and was like, "I want to, do something with Iggy Pop playing at your space." And they were like, "Yes, Iggy Pop is playing our space, but it is Iggy Pop, the, noise trio from Arizona."
Michael Reich had his solo art show showing here at the Cologne Gallery.
I like a fair fight. And for me, that's what art is always about. It's about who brings the best game to the table, who's going to bring the best show to the table, who is going to be, for lack of a better term, who's going to be Conan and who's going to be Lunch. As a rule of thumb, I'm usually Conan. I most of the times when I have shows, I crush people.
I chose to set up Wayne's reception on the third Friday, the same time that we do our experimental music jam. In the beginning, the music was more ambient. When the kids showed up, the kids meaning Iggy Pop, Ryan's group, Brian, Tristan, and Andrew showed up, they came in, as they often do, and did a sort of an anarchist form of experimental sound.
We wore jumpsuits and animal masks, and we try to, commit to the animal character that we've decided to be.
I do good solid work. I get a lot of respect for the work that I do. And then to have somebody come in and put on a jumpsuit and a monkey mask and roll around on the floor for 50 minutes and chase out all your customers, and people go, "Did you see how everybody left? Oh my God, it's terrific."
It caused Wayne a bit of an upset.
With them, I've had 3 shows that they have just completely destroyed the vibe on. Had 40 people, 50, 60 people in the gallery. They come up and perform, and the next thing you know, I'm playing to an empty house.
You have to be careful when you're dealing with Wayne, because he's a really outstanding artist, but he also has his, hard to explain the word for it.
I just went, boom, and I was like, rolling around on the floor and throwing garbage and blah, and dressing up in a pink Nazi suit, and everything in the last 6 months that annoyed me about this kid just came spilling out. And, of course, he and his cohorts heard it.
He's one of the only people who's openly voiced his hatred towards me and Andrew, and me and Andrew have a lot of fun with pissing him off.
They sent letters like, "Oh, please, why can't we be friends?" and sending him like little cute kitty pictures or hearts or something to that effect.
I got somewhere in the neighborhood of about 140 or 150 emails.
We tried to add him on MySpace, right? And then he's all like, like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And we were like, what?
We were like, hey, Wayne.
Yeah, you were right.
We don't hate you, but you hate us. Let's be friends on MySpace.
Yeah, we were like, come on. Come on. So
come on, dude.
So then like...
We sent him pictures of cubs and puppies.
But I went to the open mic night, and I went in there, and Andrew got done doing his thing, you know. And I walked up to Andrew, and I basically flat out, like, you know, what the hell is your problem?
And he gets in my face, he's like, what the fuck's your problem? You know? And then, like, I'm just like, he's like, if you don't stop, like, this email thing, like, I'll fold you into a corner.
And he's like, well, you know, we sent you a friend request on MySpace, and, you know, you freaked out. I'm like, no, you sent me a friend request. I told you to leave me alone because I think you're a bunch of talentless gits. And I go, and then you had all these people send me all these threatening letters. I had somebody send me a photo of a corpse. And I had come home and basically flipped on the email and it sees a little thing and I open it up and it's a photo of a corpse and underneath it says, this is going to be you if you don't shut your mouth about Ryan. Okay. I'm very nice and forgiving up to a point. Because I'm a New Yorker and because I have my mother's Sicilian blood in me, I'm not a good person to tick off. People know who I am. I get good tables at restaurants and, you know, I have cute women hit on me and I have a lot of friends and people think I'm fabulous, so...
School, I remember I went into it being really excited. Like, school's gonna be great. I'm gonna learn all these great things and that way I can be cool and smart like my brothers and my sister and everyone I know because everyone goes to school. I was really excited about it and then I don't know exactly what happened.
This very first week of kindergarten, he was a little bit smaller than other kids, and there was this one kid in class that picked on everybody. And it really bugged Ryan, and the kid finally got around to picking on Ryan, and he was meaner and nastier to Ryan than he was to any of the other kids. So Ryan kicked this kid right in the face.
He was unhappy as an adolescent, but I think that is partly because of he was very creative and he didn't really fit in with the school he went to.
I found this old teenage girl game with a wizard and you ask him questions like, am I gonna go out with the captain of the football team? And then you press this button and the wizard says like, yes. It has these cards that the questions are on. And I decided, you know, I'm gonna dress up like a wizard and pass these cards out at school, you know, just sort of brighten everyone's day. I got sent to the principal's office. They took like my hat and cape and the cards away from me. And then they were like, go back to class. I just walked home and I didn't go back to school for a really long time.
It was hard for us to deal with as a family when Ryan would get picked on at school because we knew that he had medical issues.
His growth hormone deficiency, that's been another real challenge for him. He, from the beginning times when he went through the testing and stuff to find out was there a physiological issue there and finding out that yes there was and what can be done about it. With taking the shots and injecting yourself and so on, and he was, I don't know, 8 or 10 years old or somewhere in there. For an 8 or 10-year-old to take on giving himself shots and, you know, living with the stigma of it and everything.
This is the first helmet that I got. I got it at a thrift store for $3. I didn't know if I wanted to get it, but I did, and now it's become a part of different performances that I've done. Actually, a lot of different performances that I've done. Mostly, hi, my name is Ryan, and I used it for Silverchair, and started using it for other projects, and then started picking up other helmets at thrift stores because they give me special performance powers, and I believe that I can do anything in this helmet and it'll be entertaining and that's why I wear it when I perform solo. And in a lot of ways, it really is saving me from embarrassment, and it really is a safety helmet. And then I found out Corey has a bunch of helmets because he goes to Goodwill every single day, and so whenever he sees a really good helmet, then he picks it up. Whenever he sees a really good anything, he picks it up.
Press a picture. This is the Earth.
Hi, my name's Corey Busboom. I specialize in freelance unemployment, and then I do electronic modification.
Right at level 1.
The Coitus is an experimental electronic band, and we try not to be noise, but it's trying to go new wave, like 1980s new wave with it, but with vintage electronics. Ryan would play keyboards in the band. He'd always come over here and print t-shirts while I would build these instruments, so he would see how they were built, so he'd be pretty good at playing them at the shows. Every song we would change instruments, so like anybody playing in the band, whether it be Ryan or Tristan or Andrew, we would trade off every song, so anybody in the band would have to end up playing everything.
Catorce is an improvisational theater troupe, and it started with Amy Carpenter and JRC after they took an improv class together. It was just a two-person troupe. I didn't see it when it was just the two of them, but I can't imagine it being that entertaining.
In an early scene that me and Amy did when we were a two-person troupe, it turned into a conversation between a grandmother and her grandson, where she was admitting that she was going to commit suicide because she felt old and useless. And we both cried at the end of the scene. And when Ryan joined Catorce, it got even more spontaneous.
I once played a man who was unhappy with his marriage because he was insanely attracted to carpets and textures. And he would go to this carpet store called Carpet World, and he would make love to the carpet samples.
He just moaned in this glorious, self-satisfied way.
Amy played my wife, and she's like, I know my husband's here, I need to see him. And so she comes in this carpet suit, and I'm weirded out, but then I got into it, and but only when she put on like the carpet mask.
I will just start doing characters for the hell of it, and I came up with a character that was especially creepy, and I thought, well, what context can I put this character in? And I thought it was a no-brainer. It's got to be a kid's show. Uncle Skus Clubhouse is a live stage kids show for the young at heart and children of all ages, 18 years and older only. There's a number of regular characters. There's the kid, there's the host, there's the old neighbor that comes and visits, there's the chain-smoking puppet, and then there's the musical director who plays accordion that is mute and blind. I had seen Ryan perform with Nightwolf, and the first time I saw him, I'm like, who is this spastic kid who's just chock full of energy? I knew he was the only person I wanted to play the kid. So I mean, he has like this innocence about him, yet like there's this underlying sadness.
I decided to use a yellow helmet because Casper wears a yellow shirt. And these are drawings by Casper. And he loves numbers and unicorns, wizards, reptiles, rainbows, bumblebees, and ducks.
episode, we had Casper making hard rock candy, but as it turns out, he inadvertently made meth. There was one woman that came to the show that was quite offended by what we were doing. Mostly she was offended by Ryan. She told us when she left that she worked with challenged people, and if Ryan was pretending to be challenged on stage, she was offended. And if it turns out that he actually was a challenged kid and we had him up on stage, she found that equally offensive.
So as most kids shows do, Uncle Skus Clubhouse put out a coloring book. You have, of course, the nice drawings of the cast doing silly things. Mrs. McPherson lifting dumbbells. And Maestro standing underneath the sun in his swim gear. You have a few games. You have profile in the cast. A few jokes in there for the adults. A maze where you help Mr. Jangles find his cigarettes. But the best treat is on the back. It's a cutout paper doll of Casper that you can actually dress up.
8-Bit Porno is a 4-piece ball of chaos. Ryan's primary role in 8-Bit Porno is to beat on a 8-foot piece of sheet metal. Anything he could bang on.
Adam sort of gave Ryan, Tristan, these young people more of a direction.
One time we played a house party. I look over and Ryan's, beating a piece of sheet metal, and what I thought was dirt all over his socks ended up being blood. He ended up cutting himself on the sheet metal, but still, continued performing. And it looks like, somebody was killed on the floor of this house.
We'd start out with something like really loud, like a big shebang, right? And then it'd end with us tackling each other and throwing instruments around the room and bleeding.
We were amazed at their talent.
I guess when I first wanted to start performing and entertaining people, I probably had feelings like this back when I was like 3 or 4. I remember I would smash those like toy race cars with a hammer. I thought that was pretty great because sometimes I'd make sparks and stuff.
He said that it made him feel like it got all his anger out. He liked to take old TV sets and somebody gave us an old oven and he liked to smash that with baseball bats and get all his friends together and let's go smash something kind of thing.
It started out as a way to release rage and anger, having to do with emotional things that he dealt with as a child. He would go around to everybody and say, "Do you have anything I can smash?" And he would take it out on the back patio and just smash it and punch it and kick it until he'd always hurt himself. He'd always cut a knuckle or cut his foot. I don't know at what point it turned from releasing anger to entertainment or joy, but it really became almost an addiction for him.
Locking your car doors was supposed to be this like weird avant-garde artsy sort of thing. Our first show was me playing a keyboard and our friend Aaron from the Putties playing flugelhorn again and Emily banging on a snare drum with a microphone in her mouth going, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." And I was talking about holding men in my arms and, mustaches, the usual thing I obsess about. As many of our friends as we could gather, playing instruments they don't know how to play, and being loud.
We asked Emily and Ryan, they had their little table there, and we asked if we can join the band. And they were like perplexed, we're like, locking your car doors. We're like, yeah, we want to get into shows for free. And they're like, they were completely down. So we just started booking shows and having a good time. Yeah.
Over time, we still had people playing instruments. Sometimes we'd play like dance workout music, and we would make a mess. Locking your car doors has been banned from a lot of places. The last show, we were like, let's make this freaking huge. Let's make this the biggest thing ever. It started out, the stereo kicked in, and we whipped out this powdered sugar and covered the whole place in it, and yet people were breathing it in. We destroyed 8 watermelons, 5 TVs, a vacuum cleaner, a sewing machine, computer monitors, water balloons filled with Jell-O.
We had this huge pile of like molasses on the ground, glass in the molasses, and then we had dance music and a bunch of people dancing, so if you slipped, you fell in glass. And I jumped out there, and I slipped, and I came down on my hands, and my palms like glashed straight into them. And then you can't really stop, so you're bleeding from your palms, and you're like, well, you know, rock and roll.
Our friend Phil, who drove all the way from California to be at this show, drove his car into the venue, and there was nothing left for us to destroy backstage, so everyone was just destroying this car with the remains of televisions and stuff.
It's just nothing like it. Like it was just really fun. Just a lot of awesome Fiesta Cola, just pure awesome, complete awesome.
This show was so insanely life-changing.
It was all very awesome. It was fun.
So, my parents got divorced when I was 5 or 6, and then once they were divorced, then I remember, you know, I'd see my dad once a week, and sometimes it felt like a chore. Most of the time, he just let me watch cool movies like The Terminator and Willow and stuff, and then we'd eat Taco Bell. When it was a special occasion, then he'd take us out to Denny's or something, or like a hometown buffet. That was really cool. And I don't, you know, my mom was busy all the time. I don't remember seeing her much except for in the mornings when she'd take me to school. My siblings basically raised me. That's how, like, I've always looked at it, because my siblings were always there, and they're the ones who took care of the other stuff that parents usually do, like teaching you how to do stuff and, you know, having talks.
He called me into his room and he said, I need to talk to you about something. And I was like, okay. And he's like, well, you need to close the door. And so we went into his room and closed the door, and he just looked at me straight in the eye and he said, I want to kill myself. And I didn't know what to say to that. And I was like, why? Why would anyone want to kill himself? Why do you want, you're such a wonderful, happy boy. And he just started talking about, I don't like my life. I don't like who I am. I don't like the way I look. And I don't remember how long after that it was that he actually went to a charter rehab facility.
It was really kind of a scary place to go and visit Ryan.
He was like, yeah, I don't need to be here. As long as I have my family around me, I'm happy and I'm fine. He realized he had a wonderful family as long as they were there, but they weren't there a lot of the time.
It's not, it was not my best time as far as parenting. As far as what I did for him, I don't think I did great like I woulda, coulda, shoulda done. And I didn't know what else, I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do.
I think he really has had to feel his way through life and figure things out for himself.
I just get that he was alone. Yeah, he was alone.
I'm trying to think of like a time or like a moment that I just decided to make everything awesome. First moment that comes to mind when I realized, hey, things don't have to be so crappy all the time, was probably a couple weeks after I dropped out of school. And maybe it was just my way of trying to find a positive in dropping out of school, because at first I was really depressed. I was like, I'm such a moron. I got held back 3 times. Who gets held back 3 times, Ryan, you idiot? Why didn't you just try to learn something instead of making it hard for yourself? And then I was like, wait, what I want to do with my life doesn't require college. It doesn't require that much of an education. So why am I even bothering with this stuff? I don't have to get my GED. I'm choosing not to go to school. I'm choosing to just do what I want right now.
Ryan took all those negative feelings and found a different outlet.
The first concert that I went to, I was 11 years old, almost 12. It really, there was just so much about that I enjoyed and that I wanted to, experience more of. I wanted to start promoting shows. I wanted more people to experience the joy that I was having.
I think he was 14 years old when he produced his first concert. And I think he ended up with 6 bands there, and it was over 100 people.
I found a good mix of people. We wanted to start a ska band, and that's when I met Emily at a ska show.
He asked, he was there with his other friend, and they asked if I wanted to be in a band with them, and that's how things started.
I was walking on the street on a sunny day, hubba 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 hubba. A feeling in my bones says I have my way, hubba 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 hubba. Oh, I'm a happy boy, oh, I'm a happy boy. Oh, ain't it good when things are going your way? Hey, hey.
I mean, he organized tons of concerts and shows like the Real Coachella or the Real Bands on Grand.
Cause I'm a happy boy, oh, I'm a happy boy. Oh, ain't it good when things are going your way? Hey, hey.
He definitely was the driving force behind his projects. I mean, whether it was Locking Your Car Doors or Too Much Birthday or Iggy Pop or whatever.
I just want to do what I like and be able to live happily and make other people happy. And I did this through different projects and bands.
The moment I met Ryan, I just was amazed by how young he was, for the fact that I had already had a sense of who he was through promoting shows and hearing about him promoting ska shows, and thought it was pretty neat that somebody that young was getting involved with it. In fact, I thought that was one of the great things about him, that he was already producing this body of work at such a young age. I think he used each project to get something different out and work something out for himself.
All the other things that I had issues with, that's sort of what spiraled into, Hi, My Name is Ryan and other projects. It's just like, what do I want to, what issue do I want to confront today, with this performance? What do I want to accomplish?
Ryan was starting to do his silver chair performances, which later was Hi, My Name is Ryan. Just pretty much him doing performance art, doing monologues, whatever was on his mind.
Silverchair was a solo project. I set up a fort, laid under the fort with the keyboard, and talked about really personal things that are kind of embarrassing.
There was a theme to each show, and there was a theme to everything he was saying, and he had a lot of fun ways of doing it.
First show, I talked mostly about family. Second show was the pink Nazi uniform show, where I talked about love and romance and stuff. It was on Valentine's Day.
He dressed up like Hitler in like this pink kind of like Nazi outfit. He slicked his hair back, and he did this long monologue about how he and Hitler both went to art school and both Both
like nice haircuts.
Both like nice haircuts and stuff. But he explained that to me and to people that he basically did that to like conquer his fear of like offending people. And he did that.
It worked.
It worked pretty well because he would offend people, and he was actually asked to leave and asked never to do that again, or he would be banned from this place forever. We were just kind of a big thing because this place is pretty punk rock.
I think like with all of the things that musically Ryan's done within the last like year or so, I mean, it's pretty incredible. A lot of it's crap, but I mean, there's some stuff that's just like really like smart and really funny, and like that's the stuff that I think speaks volumes about like his character. Like with Silverchair or slash Hi, my name is Ryan, like that was really great because it was so sincere and honest.
Hi, my name is Ryan is something that other people have referred to as an open diary performance art project.
This was a chance for him to be out in the open about what was bothering him and to overcome certain obstacles. And so each of these shows was designed to do that.
It was a trunk space performance art night. And first I ranted about telepathy and also about how uncomfortable I am with the way my body looks.
He took off all his clothes at the trunk space on the stage, and that was something I never expected. There he is taking all his clothes off on stage, and it was so great. It was comedy, but it was also therapeutic, and it was performance art, but it wasn't pretentious.
It's just really ingrained in Ryan that he has something within him that he is almost compelled to share with other people. He had another performance that involved wrapping everybody up in police tape, and he kind of tries to get us literally all connected.
Everyone was connected and wrapped up in this caution tape and looking completely silly, and then I wrapped up myself and I ranted about how everyone's equal right now, because we're all wrapped up in this caution tape and we're all connected, we're all equal, and that was the goal. It was just like, I want to create a really positive situation, and I think that's what I did.
He has aired all of his dirty laundry. Like, there were secrets that he would tell that I would just be like, oh, Ryan, I didn't think you'd ever say that about, ever, and like now everyone in the room knows it. And like there are things that I've learned by seeing his performances that I never knew about him. Like his performance at the sex show, I learned way more about him than I ever thought I would.
I wrote out a list of anything close to a sexual experience I've ever had in my life.
It was just hysterical. I mean, because you kind of don't realize that people are actually like that naive about like sex, especially like nowadays, because it's so all around you. And I mean, he's so like, it was just totally like showcased how innocent he was.
When I was 3 years old, I got an erection from watching a Star Trek movie with my family, and I shouted, "My penis is growing! My penis is growing!" Brody Hubbard was having a divorce anniversary. He put together his own show to celebrate him being divorced from his stupid wife for 2 years.
I felt the need to have a divorce party, and I asked Ryan to be part of it.
I decided to do a talk show.
My name is Ryan Avery. This is my totally awesome show, Grand Avenue tonight. Yeah!
It became a regularly scheduled thing the first Thursday of every month. Andrew was my sidekick, and it was a, David Letterman type talk show.
I have a sun tattoo too.
Ryan got to really be an entertainer in a mainstream fashion. A lot of his friends and a lot of people who came to his shows just felt more comfortable standing in a corner and like looking at their shoes than actually dealing with people on any sort of human level. So I think Ryan got over that, and I think the Grand Avenue show really helped that.
I'll give the kid points for going out there and trying to take some of his emotional pain and turn it into something creative. But he's not good at it. He's too young, he's too raw, he's too inexperienced. You know, I've heard, well, he's from a divorced family. Well, I'm from a divorced family. You know, I grew up in a Sicilian household and a German household, so I have fire and ice on both sides. You know, my mother's bipolar and a lesbian, you know, so if we want to start, you know, comparing notes about who's had a more fucked up childhood, pardon my French, I go, bring it. You know what I mean? Bring it to daddy.
It's not to say his life was darker than most people's. I think it was just darker than most people realized. Each of these projects made him stronger, and I think each of these projects helped him face those issues that he was dealing with in discovering his sexuality, in trying to reconcile his faith with what he wanted to do artistically. But there's no question that Father's Day was definitely about the events that happened within his family. I mean, he named the character after his dad.
It's the first name that came to mind, of course, because we're doing a band about dads, and so you always sort of have your parent in mind whenever you're coming up with a new idea for a song or a concept. But also, when I went through different names, I kept coming back to Douglas and or Patton because they're so good for, you know, like a business guy, like sleazy business, which is definitely the character that Douglas Patton is. We've gone through different occupations for all the characters. Douglas Patton has been a cement contractor and a used car salesman, of course, and he used to own parking lots as well.
I know Ryan has always wanted his dad to be proud of him, even though he might not admit it.
He knew that I was in bands and never came to see him or really cared, you know?
I don't remember the specific time I first heard about Father's Day. I know it's been more than a year, but probably somewhere around 2 years ago. And just that's what it was, and that they made fun of and caricatured weird fathers and how they were strange or mean or whatever to their kids, like magnifying fathers, a lot of fathers' faults and things, and like making fun of them, making fun of the way dads were. I thought, oh boy, I'm wondering what he's doing about me. So.
The CDs were great. They had these great Norman Rockwell-esque drawings of families and grooms and brides and things like that. And then these just horrible statements. I mean, they had the song, My Son's a Gay. They had a song, My Son Went to the New School for the Arts and I Hate Him. You know, that stuff that the Douglas Patton character says came from somewhere. And, you know, the Dungeons and Dragons, What's All This Dice For? That's my favorite song.
I said, now Ryan, it says this really happened, and it talks about Matt and Dungeons and Dragons, so I had to be in there somewhere. But do you really think I called him names, so sissy or whatever, for playing it?
I actually found out from my brother Matt that Dad never really yelled at them for playing Dungeons and Dragons. That was actually mostly Mom. In the early days of Father's Day, I would always draw on a mustache. It was different every show, and I'd just do it with Sharpie. When I moved in with my roommates here, I was going out to a Father's Day show, and I had on the Sharpie mustache, and they were like, why are you using, a Sharpie mustache? That's so lame. And I was like, well, you guys have real mustaches? And they were like, yeah, we have a bunch of them. This one matches my hair perfectly, and it's just like a straight line straight across, which is very sleazy and beautiful. And so, they let me use that. And it got really worn out. I didn't know how to take care of a prosthetic mustache at all. And then, like, I got some tips, but it was kind of too late for the mustache by then. And so, like, I tried trimming it and stuff, and it just fell apart. So I had to go buy another one. I got one from Easley's Fun Shop over by my work. And I got the one that I wear currently, which goes, you know, like that. Like, it kind of goes down a little. Not quite a handlebar, but almost. And yeah, that's what I wear now. Father's Day is playing at the Cajun House. And so are some other totally awesome bands, like the Aquabats.
Good songs to start.
Good stuff.
Surfing Bird's always good. She's Just a Friend's always good, I think.
I love starting off with Surfing Bird.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's do some.
15 minutes.
Opening up for the Aquabats was like probably the biggest moment in the history of our band. And Andrew's gone to California for a show, but we had a backup.
My name is Mr. Dad. This is Sperm Donor Dad. He's filling in for Golf Dad, who went to California.
My name is Liam, and I am Sperm Donor Dad and Father's Day. Basically, I perform when other dads can't perform. I don't really know how to play guitar, so it was nice when Andrew finally showed up.
We've reached the pinnacle with Father's Day. Like, we opened up for the Aquabats. It was like so significant in like every aspect of me and Ryan's life, especially with Ryan because he's like so obsessed with them.
It feels really great to have opened for the Aquabats. They are the biggest influence on me as far as bands go. It felt really good, especially that we scammed our way on their show.
They told the promoter that I said it was okay, and I demanded them to be on the show, which is a complete and total lie. However, under the circumstances, we did give him the thumbs up with a little tongue lashing. But, you know, you got to applaud his panache. He's got guts, and I like that in a kid. Good on you, mate.
I really, really hate playing places with moats that separate the crowd from the audience. Mostly because that's what makes a Father's Day show so like intense, is like having me punch people in the face, you know? And I couldn't do that today, so that kind of sucked.
He goes from this quiet, shy, just kind of in the background guy, outside of recognizing him because he's always dressed in a suit and a tie, and he's got that cherub face, you know. Then he gets on stage and he's screaming at everybody. You know, it's like, what the heck's this guy doing? You know?
I was approached to, hey, we're gonna have this show. There's these kids that come in. They're a three-piece band. They're only 15 minutes long, and they're kind of funny. Within that 15 minutes, he managed to do more damage to the barricade, to the front of the stage, to my equipment than most hardcore shows that I've had in here. I was livid. I'm like, if you ever bring that pudgy little bastard in here again, I'm gonna kill him.
Anybody can be shocking, and anybody can piss you off. It doesn't take any talent to make people angry. It doesn't take any talent to be a jerk, you know? And the thing is that as a rule of thumb, when you come in with that attitude into a show, or you come in with that as your creativity, as your gift, as your performance, what you are doing is you are taking the air away and the space away and the attention away from people who have practiced their craft.
Sometimes Ryan's projects can have a certain shrillness to them, and I think for whatever reason, people don't respond well to that. It could be that just some people don't like to look at, you know, the stuff that makes them uncomfortable or that makes other people uncomfortable, and I think that's, you know, that's part of Ryan's talent.
It's so funny, and people completely, it goes over people's heads, I'm afraid. It goes over too many people's heads. I think a lot of people do get it. It's comedy. It's not music.
I know when Ryan's performing, he kind of takes on a character that's, you know, very outgoing, very flamboyant or loud or irreverent. Aggressive sometimes even. But in his personal life, he's very reverent, very quiet, very serious person.
He wasn't just like a, you know, an avant-garde performer. You know, he was also, he had other stuff that was important to him.
The Trunk Space has this regular art show every year called the Mail Art Show, and it's one of my favorite things that they put up every year. I decided to share a piece of one of my favorite records. The Children's Bible Hour Choir sings songs that are warm and friendly, and I drew all 32 kids that are on the front of that record.
Life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
He was really spiritual, like, and that carried over into everything he did. Like, he never, like, you know, took a drink or smoked or did any drugs. And, you know, we've been around that a lot.
The lifestyle that I was leading at that time and the lifestyle that my peers were leading at that time weren't necessarily in conjunction with the values that Ryan was raised with. Because of his religious background, he really felt uncomfortable with all that. I mean, rock and roll's the devil's music, so, you know, you can't necessarily join that with going to church every Sunday. At least that was the struggle I think he felt for a long time. So while he achieved a certain amount of satisfaction in performing, because of the environment he was exposed to, I feel like it made him re-examine those values. And I think in that re-examination, it might have pushed him back towards the faith that he was raised in. And he decided at some point, now that I have achieved what I was looking to do with these certain projects, maybe this is a good time for me to go back to my roots.
For the next 2 years, I'm going to be serving a full-time mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Portland, Oregon, English speaking. I assume that I'll be helping out lots of people. At least that's what I hope to be doing. I hope to be helping lots of people and teaching lots of people, introducing them to the gospel. From what I've gathered from different folks that have served missions, you pray a lot, you read the scriptures every morning and every night, and the rest of the time you're running around either teaching people or looking for people to teach, or helping people or looking for people to help. And then you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 6 a.m. I get scared thinking about knocking on random people's doors and just saying, like, do you want to hear what I have to say about this thing I believe? I don't really have confidence in talking to people about it, and I don't have a lot of confidence when I speak in church or when like I pray in front of other people, it's really hard. Because I've always kept it so close to me.
If you understood Ryan, you knew that it was something that was important to him, and that it wouldn't be right for him to like not do it. Basically, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it made up who he was. I don't remember the first time I heard that Ryan was leaving. It was always kind of like we always kind of like knew it was going to happen eventually. So it was like always something like off in the distance. So it was kind of like this like dark cloud that was looming over us.
One day we got a phone call here, and it was Ryan. I knew what happened. I knew Ryan had gotten his papers or whatever, and he was going somewhere, and Jay was kind of going, oh, that's great, that's great. And then he handed me the phone, and Ryan's like, I'm going to Portland, I'm going on my mission, I'm going to Portland. And all I could say was, oh.
Even though he wants to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that, you just feel bad when someone you care that much about goes away.
Every day I think of the noise that you made. Turn down the volume, but it is still audible. How can that be?
Yeah, the day after Ryan left, I was pretty much just really depressed. Just kind of just moping around. Like I didn't know what to do. Like, you know, like I felt like I should have been doing something like positive, but instead I was just at home, like just watching like old horror movies and just kind of trying to forget about it. You know?
I think I was just like face down on my bed for most of the day.
Liam and I actually met with him at the airport, and we were like the last people he saw, and like it was really, really, really tough. Like we just all sat and like held each other and cried for like I don't know how long. It was just really sad.
There are some heavy weights on my shoulders now. I tried to shrug them off, but I'll tell you that doesn't work. How can that be?
Ryan's last show was every band and performer he respected performing for Ryan. I would say there was probably 30 different bands or performers or projects or some sort of something that occurred that night.
So it was really interesting to see this huge gathering of bands, first off, which took forever, but seeing all these people joining in one place and celebrating in just this weird, odd, wonderful way.
My name is Larry. My name is Larry. I have a sister. Her name is Joyce. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Larry.
Like Ryan's going away show at The trunk space was, you know, very like joyous, like over the top. He like had all his friends there and everything.
Ryan's going away show was probably his most important show to date. This show was all for him and all his favorite performers, and all his friends came.
You're leaving your house and you take all your change, but you didn't pick up what it takes to remain alive.
The fact that like everyone showed up that he wanted to have there was like probably like really overwhelming for him, I'd imagine. I mean, he seemed like every time I spoke to him that night, he was like crying about something, which was kind of like, aw, you cry a lot, but not this much. So he was just probably really excited. I cannot believe that his dad showed up.
I think his father has been kind of embarrassed about some of the things he's done in the past, and I think he started to see that other people were proud of him and that it was okay for Ryan to be weird.
It was like an amazing moment to have my dad come to my farewell show, because I'm like, wow, he must like really, you know, be interested in what I'm doing right now if he's willing to stay until 4 in the morning. From that night on, talking to him, it felt like it just felt so natural, but it also like just felt so good. From silly to serious, just to see if I could do it. I sang songs that I had sang a lot to help reminisce of the good times that I've had performing. Please sing along if you know the words. This is the last time my name is Ryan show until I come back from my mission. And the whole reason I wanted to do this was because singing along with my friends is like one of my favorite things in the world. Go to church in a strip mall. There's a supercuts down the hall, and that's okay. That's alright. I'm sure God doesn't mind all the fluorescent lights.
I thought he was really good at genuine, authentic at what he was doing, and it was expressing who he really is, with basically like his farewell before this time being gone.
Words of advice for everyone here. Try and find, like, I mean this so much and I say it so much, try and find a positive in everything.
Gosh, I was really proud of him. Like, yeah, that's my kid, and he was good.
And even though it like lasts until like 4 a.m. or something, it just was, you know, probably the best note that Ryan could leave the Valley on, I think.
Here's something to think about when things go wrong all the time. That luck can change like that high tide. Bad things may soon turn out alright.
Ryan is awesome.
It's just really interesting to see this person who's made this definite choice, you know, for his own happiness, and tries to foster that and cultivate it in any way he can.
There's a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of different performance artists and musicians and other people who kind of like do wacky things in, you know, downtown Phoenix's art scene. But no one did it like with as much joy or like frivolity as Ryan did.
He was probably happier than he'd ever been because he was seeing the fruits of his labor. Everything snapped into place for him. He's got a girl, he's got shows, he's got opportunities, he knows what he's doing, and now he has to leave. But he kind of went out on top. So, you know, who could ask for anything better than that?
You look at Ryan and you just like laugh and chuckle because he kind of just looks like a big baby. So I mean, that's like aesthetically, like that's awesome. Like people laugh at that and think it's, you know, think happy thoughts and like, but then you get to know him and he's just like so incredible and so funny and so charming and like, and you just like, you fall in love with him. Like that's like as simple as that. Like you totally just fall in love with him.
I would say right now that my life is awesome.
Everybody wants to live, some people wait to die. So close your eyes, 'cause it's alright to say hello, good night.
My goal in life, like my sort of fantasy in life is to become this superhuman that can handle anything and doesn't have any problems and is just 100% content, super great about everything.
I await the return. You know, everybody needs a good foil. You know, if he comes back as a good foil, then it'll be interesting. You know, I'll be almost disappointed if he doesn't, because I'd like to think that when he does come back, that he comes out swinging. You know, that's kind of my approach. So I'm looking at it going, okay, you got 2 years to go away and develop as a human and develop as a man and develop as a person. Let's see what you bring back to the table. You know, part of me is, you know, very looking forward to it, and then the little small part of me goes, God, I hope he doesn't come back too good. You know?
Eyes like omens, I've been told, and friends are found when keys are stolen. Find the keys, the corn is golden. Friends have golden hearts and souls, and sky blue eyes, amazing cold when hearts are far apart and broken.
This was taken after an 8-bit porno set, and it's just me with sheet metal. It's called Angry Face, that's the name of the strip.
The roadside is raging backbones as I drive to chase my friends were mine. Eyes like omens, I've been.
I auctioned myself off for a date, and these two lovely ladies won me.
Find the keys, the corn is golden. Friends have golden hearts and souls, and
This is me and Jose being friends.
hearts are far apart and broken.
This one's called Woo Party Bro Sombrero. It's me in a sombrero having a party and pretending it's spring break.